I'm a habitual eavesdropper on other tables whenever I'm out to eat. And this last time, I didn't really have an option. There was a gentleman in his date, I assume, next to me, and he started asking some questions, some would you rather questions. Oh, would you rather, spend 24 hours in a prison or,
or
spend
go on
24
another date with me?
Oh,
Sorry.
by
What?
the end of this, you'll get it by the end. And I'm thinking, oh, great. There's always reasons to have new things to talk about. You want to get freshness and where the conversation goes and such.
Was this an
After
older couple or a younger couple?
a bit older. I wouldn't say they're old, but they were not as, spring chickenly as I am.
How
Right.
respectful of you in your description.
The first 5 minutes, I'm like, all right, cool. It seems like the conversation's moving. They're going a little quick. Sometimes would you rather questions drag on. They get long in the tooth. And then about 10, 15 minutes in, I'm like, man, this is a lot to talk about. But you know what? Sometimes that's what it needs. After about an hour and a half's worth of just listening to them getting faster and faster.
Oh,
I kid you not. An hour and a half. Faster and faster. It'd be like, would you rather this? I don't know, this answer. And then he would just keep going. I don't think he took the hint that maybe we should use these to talk about ourselves or, things that make us unique. He just continued to ask, would you rather do this? Would you rather do that? So I'm assuming this was a psychological battery at this point. I don't think this man was interested in hearing what your opinion was. I think he wanted to know, okay, you're obviously a Hufflepuff coming out of this one.
But so this is like, would you rather be able to fly or have 3 legs? Be able to fly. Cool. Next. Would you rather... It's like that?
No reflection, no
By the end of it, that was the cadence.
Response. What a weird
All right,
date.
we have filled up my little notebook, and I am ready to end this date.
Yeah, goodbye.
You've given me the answers I need. Thank you.
Yeah, I've accomplished what I needed tonight.
Please cover
out
the
of this
check.
Experience. Would you rather cover the check?
Would you rather me leave
Or
now
ditch?
and you cover the check, or
God,
whatever
what a
it
weird
takes?
thing. What a weird thing.
Were there any highlights for the questions?
Oh, there was one.
I mean, I had a good time with being dropped in the ocean a few weeks ago.
There were
months.
certainly some questions that were like, would you rather be able to fly or run really fast? And I was like, oh, that's a fun one. That's nice and lighthearted. There was another one, however, that was, would you rather cheat on someone and have to tell them or be cheated on and be told that? Okay, a little bit darker and everything. And then I think there was one, which way would you rather die? So we progressed from, lighthearted conversation starters to if you had to be murdered by someone who was the would you rather killer.
Perhaps on a date with you.
Yeah.
Great.
Chocolate or vanilla, burned at the stake or stabbed to death. I mean,
Don't let that have any bearing on your answer. I just want you to know it's your choice.
Would you rather be stabbed on the way to your car or while we're in your car?
Correct.
oh golly, man. I mean, when you were telling it, I was imagining like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. I'm sure I can throw some would you rathers on my
Hour
wife
and
or
a half.
whatever. An hour and a half.
I'm
That is
I'm
nuts.
just picturing you eating a hamburger, like a big Chili's hamburger for an hour and a half. These steak fries. Oh my goodness.
just mumbling through
Hour
all
and a
this
half.
food that you're eating.
Okay.
So like, would you rather though? It's like spitting chili everywhere.
Would you like anything for dessert? I don't know. Would you rather have dessert? No more, please. Please, release me.
I'm leaving.
The server's like, is there something going on here?
If this table wasn't bolted to the ground, I would flip it.
And would you rather bolt this table to the ground? Unfortunate.
Okay, I want to go back to the first would you rather question you asked. Would you rather be able to fly or run really fast? And it got me thinking, every like superhero or magical adventure that I've heard, read, watched, whatever, you can pretty much fly as fast as you want, right? Nobody ever gets into like air friction and oh gosh, I'm so tired from flying, or I can only fly 20 miles an hour. It's always like, why would I drive when I can fly? 30 seconds later, I'm at my destination, the other side of the world. Have you ever seen anything where like your speed is at all limited flying?
I've only heard it in places where people are trying to handicap the style of power that you get. You know, the people who are like, would you rather be able to hover a foot above the ground, or would you rather be able to fly at your walking speed? You know, it's like, okay, well, neither of those are any fun. But if it was a superpower, Yeah, you would think so. You would think whatever it's causing you to fly, you'd kind of have some control to put some gas on it or not.
Yeah, I feel if I could fly Superman style, and I was limited in speed or like I got tired, I would fly all the time. Just I'm gonna get better at this. Plus, it's fun.
Do you think it's more fatiguing than walking around?
I mean, I've done some workout classes where they're like, do the superhero move, and you're laying on your belly and you lift up your legs and your arms, and yeah, holding my arms up above my head, lying flat is it's pretty tiring.
Yeah.
But would I just like stand up and fly? Like
Stand up position flying? Yes.
T-pose and you're just
Like-
going forward at someone.
like leaning on a wall, like with your legs crossed, and it's just that position, just going. Yeah. With your arms crossed too. Yeah. Like I'm so overflying right now, but I'm doing it anyway.
You can fly at Superman speeds, but you have to T-pose and you are helicoptering, spinning around very, very fast.
Mm.
Or you can't fly and everything's just as it is.
Well, I feel like there's an obvious answer there because I have the choice to not do that still. You're
Yeah.
obligated once a day for 30 seconds to be dropped in the ocean, and then you have to helicopter T-pose yourself out of the ocean, obviously.
Yeah, I do like it as an escape, like an ejector seat. Like, I'm uncomfortable in this conversation. Chili's,
Toodaloo!
T-pose, helicopter, straight through the ceiling.
Yeah, if you're looking to have a hard time keeping a conversation going at that point, you might have just helped everyone else out in the room by helicoptering out of the room.
Want to
party
see
was
me do a
dying,
neat
but-
trick?
Yeah.
This better not be the helicopter thing again.
Yeah.
I will leave you. I will leave you.
What a great answer to the would you rather questions, though. It's like, would you rather, not be able to fly at all or be able to helicopter T-pose your way out of something by flying away from it? Well, as it so happens, and then you just wind yourself up and fly out the door. The perfect crime.
Yeah, I'd imagine that girl probably wanted to do that at that date.
Absolutely. She had that deer in the headlights look like, if I don't answer a question, will I be killed? Or would I
Oh,
rather,
gosh.
oh no.
Yeah, it's just like an onslaught of questions that eventually, like, I don't even know what I'm answering anymore.
At that point, is it weird to invite her over to your table? Say, hey,
This is a safe space.
this looks awful. Would you like to sit with us?
But then maybe you've
Yeah.
overwhelmed her. Maybe that was the final would you rather too far.
The would you rather that broke the camel's back.
That's one too many.
You know what was one too many, guys?
What was that, Zach?
I think it was one too many parody Animorphs books that we read this week. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness. That brings me to something important I've wanted to say for 9.5 minutes now. Welcome to Animorphs 55, the podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Patrick.
I'm another host.
I'm another-
Alex.
You're another host. I'm also another host. Zach,
You're another host.
you're all another host.
Lucky us.
And I've got some really good news for you guys.
I'm ready.
Excited.
Yeah. I've booked a guest. We got a guest star tonight.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Lucky us.
Finally.
You want to know who it is?
Tell us, please.
No, I want it to just be mystery voice.
It's I got Danny DeVito to be on our show.
Oh my God.
gosh.
Yo, hey,
Wow.
it's me, Danny DeVito. It's good to be here. Oh, I've wanted to be on your podcast for weeks since I learned it was a thing. It's a dream come true.
Patrick, did you get your mic stolen?
How did we book you?
No, I'm still here. He's just joined the
Oh.
call, right?
Oh.
Yeah. I'm over here on my own mic.
Oh,
Good. This is very convincing. Did you pronounce your name weird? What? Danny DeVito? Yes. That's. I've always heard it as Danny DeVito, and also you don't look like Danny DeVito. Oh no! I'm Danny Dave Ito. You may know my dad, Judge Lance Ito, who famously presided over the O.J. Simpson trial.
Oh my
Of course,
gosh,
that's where we knew you from.
Good. My fame precedes me.
Alex, our intern, is the one that's booking these things.
Oh, no, Patrick said he booked him.
you-
Are we going to have to... Who are we getting rid of for this? 'Cause
Oh gosh.
No, don't get mad at anybody. It's me, Danny.
When Patrick says he does it, he just passes it off onto Tina,
oh, poor Tina. Put upon Tina.
I did speak with Tina. Anyway, I've been reading Vegemorphs for the past couple of weeks. That's I didn't hear you guys say it, but that's what we're reading, right? Vegemorphs. Please let it be the right book.
Nope, Gooflumps. Sorry,
Gooflumps again.
Sorry, Danny.
I loved Welcome to Sandhands. You guys did a good job.
And you're really up to date on our discography.
Yes, I love the show. Everyone should love the show. Anyway, I wanted to sing you guys some songs and see if they resonate with the experience that you had with this book. How's that sound?
I can't
wait.
There's nothing I want more. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Let me just talk to. I'm just gonna side text Tina here about this. Just go ahead. You're good.
If there's a prize for rotten judgment, I guess we've already won that. No book is worth the aggravation. And that's my song. Do you like it?
It's gorgeous.
It's from Hercules.
You're even a Hercules fan because
yeah,
of,
were you in that one?
Yeah, because I like Disney.
Oh, just
that's the only reason.
Yeah, fair.
Anyway, that resonate with you? We pretty close on our experiences.
Yeah.
Oh, we're vibing now.
Just rotten.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and vegetables, and the book.
I got another one.
Oh,
I got
good.
another one. You ready?
Good. No, wait. Hold
Please.
on. Danny,
I'm holding.
Do you have another one? Do you have another song
Yes,
in the?
yes.
Okay.
I just told you I had another song.
I'm ready.
When I was young, I never needed anyone. Reading books was just for fun. Those days are gone. 'Cause reading this book was work. Am I right? Book was awful.
You're right.
Absolutely.
I thought it was awful.
You're right. We haven't really gotten to the plot points yet, Danny. But
Oh,
I'm
yeah, I
sure-
suppose. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll shut up. Thank you. That was really fun, Danny.
Yeah.
It
Gosh,
was, yeah,
Patrick,
fresh blood.
I didn't.
What?
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
realize.
my bad.
that you guys
I
had
thought
such
it
a
was
good-
Danny DeVito, but I think he's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now I know that your
Yeah.
connections. I just need to make sure
We'll
that
talk after
like
the show.
if someone texts the name, I have to make sure that it's not like autocorrecting the wrong thing. I really want to know specifically how you're writing it down next time. Yeah. Yeah.
Very good. All right, so Zach, what is Vegemorphs, and why is it always lumped with the Animorphs series?
Gosh, there are parodies of these '90s classics. There, so this is like before online forums were rampant with fanfic everywhere, and this one got a little bit of some headway. I think based. Oh well, it's a chicken or egg thing, I guess. But I think Arthur, like the show, like the cartoon Arthur, he had. I never really watched Arthur as a kid, but he had a Vegemorphs book on his desk or table or side table or whatever, and it had a kid turning into a vegetable. I think it was even a carrot, if I remember right. And that idea somehow blossomed into Leaf E. Green's Vegemorphs single
Yeah, that's the author.
20 chapter
Ugh.
book or whatever
Ah.
it is, 25 or so.
Hey, speaking of Arthur, because I'd rather talk about that. What year do you think Arthur came out?
I'm going to say 1988. Is that too early?
I feel like I watched it as a kid, but okay, Alex, you go.
No, I was going to say, I don't know,
Don't
probably
you look it up.
92, 93. I'm not looking it up, I promise.
Nice. Came out in 1996. 25 seasons. Yeah, I
25
always thought it was like
1996,
something
25
I watched
seasons.
growing up, but
So like it's over?
but
Like it ended in COVID time?
yeah, there was a whole big hullabaloo with the late night shows. The last one, he goes off to college, and you see him as a 18-year-old.
Arthur is an 18-year-old? Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know Arthur
Yes.
ever grew beyond like 11 or whatever he is.
No, only in the last episode.
Oh, I see. Wasn't
It's
a
like,
steady
hey,
progression.
Arthur, it's time to go to college. I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
I assume it's good.
I
Well,
liked it when I was
obviously
a kid.
that is the source material for most 90s kid book parodies is Arthur.
Hmm.
And it holds true in this one as well. And so that's why we have this classic. I don't know. Why did this one catch people's eyes more than anything else? I don't know. I feel like there's other parodies out there, but this is the one that people gravitated towards.
Yeah, like the fandom page, it has its own spot on Animorphs fandom, and it's just why it's so bad. Leafy Green, if you're listening, feel free to come on our show and defend yourself.
I mean, I would love to have Leafy Green on.
This
I
is your
can't think of
time.
a guest I would prefer more besides, well,
Anyone else?
What
about me, Danny?
We'll leave it to
Oh, you're still here.
we'll leave it.
Good.
We'll leave it
Ooh.
to Tina to figure that out. So anyone want to get us started on this amazing plot that is Vegemorphs? Vegemorphs 1, I should say.
What?
There wasn't.
No.
There wasn't more than
No, there's. Oh, you scared me.
No,
You
this
know
is
we
a
would have to
one-off. We'll
read it.
never have to read one of these again. We're good.
Oh, good.
We start off on this one with a very similar opening to all of our Animorphs books. You get the full wind up of this is why I can't tell you my name. This is where we live, this isn't where we live, et cetera, et cetera. Here's some generalities about it. The first chapter drops the pretense very, very quickly. We go from these are the names of people. Oh, I can't do these code names anymore. These are actually the people's names. Instead of
He introduces himself as Kale.
Yeah.
And he's got his friends Carrot and
Tomato.
Radish and Olive, Tomato.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, no, this is too confusing. It's me. What's his name? Kyle. Not Kale.
Yeah,
And
it's too
Carrie,
hard to
not
keep-
Carrot.
It's too hard to keep
Olivia,
this
not
straight.
Olive.
Radish, Rachel, no, Randy.
Randy, yes.
Oh, yeah.
And Randy
Yeah.
is specifically called out as being his fourth cousin once removed. So I had to look this one up because I was curious about what
Because he
that
said, I
made.
don't know what that means. Yeah.
So that would mean that their closest relation would be a great, great, great aunt or uncle.
Isn't
That's the
that,
closest
aren't we
relation
all-
it is to
aren't we all
whatever
just
this
fourth cousins
is.
once removed?
I actually
So-
saw a statistic one time saying most people are within seventh cousins of each other. Unless they're on some isolated
Whoa.
island or something like that. If
I mean, you're going
just
back a
picked
lot of
random city,
generations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
goes back
Yeah,
a
so
ways.
these kids are all over 23andme.com.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you two know each other.
You may
Therefore-
know this one match.
Yeah. So is the fourth cousin once removed Kale/Kyle's way of saying it's okay or not okay?
Well, he doesn't have a crush on Randy. He says even though they're hot, he does not have a crush on them, which is
Right.
a very interesting way to open a children's book series parody. But
Yeah. What
that's a
about later
personal
when
opinion.
What about later when they're like, "Hey, I really want you to slather that cold salad dressing."
Oh,
all
you're
over
jumping
me."
ahead in the plot so far.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm
that's,
so
that's-
sorry.
and it's okay. Don't make it weird. They're vegetables at that point.
right.
Yeah, obviously. So they're going through not Farmer Yumi, some other farmer,
Farmer Withers' bingo parlor.
Farmer Withers. Yeah.
Yeah, he runs a bingo parlor. They hang out it's at the mall. They hang out at the mall, and Biff and his friends always throw apple cores at them
Yeah. Very specific.
all the time. Yeah, we're at the mall. I hope they don't throw apple cores at us,
Yeah.
or I'm going to tell Paul Blart, I guess.
Is that okay? The only thing I think of was that was making fun of
Sandhands.
Jake saving Tobias from Jake saving Tobias from swirlies, because again, swirlies are like, does that actually happen? Is this like a
Okay,
more
yeah.
extreme version of that?
Yeah, probably
Maybe.
whipping apple cores at each other.
Like kids do.
At least I eat the apples first.
They go to the bingo hall just cuz, I guess, and specifically call out that you buy cards and you can't win anything.
Right.
Anyway, that was
You
fun.
just shout
Yeah.
bingo for laughs.
Yeah,
The old
it's
people
just
love
for
it.
the ladies. Yeah, the old ladies.
The old ladies love shouting bingo,
Mhm,
it says.
mhm.
Yeah. And then they leave, and I don't care if they get apple cores thrown at them. I don't care. I just
Mm-mm.
don't. And so they leave, and oh gosh, should we cut through Farmer Withers' field or not to save time? right? For time.
Yep.
And so they do. And yeah, a spaceship flies overhead and dumps a whole bunch of
Looks like a
dust on
mushroom.
them.
Looks like a portobello mushroom.
Mm-hmm.
And then they specifically call out, that's not just any mushroom. That's a portobello mushroom. They make great appetizers. Great. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they do.
So I think this book was written for just a few reasons. One, to showcase this guy's great love of vegetable puns.
Yes.
Because
Oh, yes.
especially later on, there's a whole chapter that every sentence has a vegetable pun.
At least he appreciates them.
True.
Yeah.
Is Leaf a girl name or a boy name, you think?
Well, Leif Erikson is a gentleman of some sort.
Leave Schreiber.
Well.
Schreiber. Yep.
Yep. And
That guy.
Yep. It does these real deep cut, like Latin name puns. Like,
My eyes glazed over him a lot of the times when he was naming the different funguses.
Prince Brassica, Oleracea, Italica, Cruciferae, which are, as I looked up, all family and genus names for broccoli. Because broccoli encompasses a wide array of different things. I thought that was hilarious, frankly.
I also saw some cabbage ones as well. I was looking up them on my phone as well while I was reading this thing. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they go through the field. It's real stinky. They hold their breath and run. And they, I guess, cut through Farmer Withers' house because he...
Not yet, because they have to meet the broccoli king. Or not king, but prince. Whatever he is. Prince Broccolini or whatever his name is. And then who's just walking across the field randomly, I guess? Is he just like...
He lives under
why
the field.
Is he out? Right, but why is he out? I couldn't figure that out.
Nightly
What
constitutional.
instigated him? He's just doing a jog. He's like, "Hey kids, you see that crazy mushroom in the sky? Let's talk about this."
Why not?
But the way that he's introduced makes me think he's just like hiding, and then he walks through out of the darkness like, "Woo, I'm broccoli."
You remember that old Courage the Cowardly Dog when it was the return the slab?
Yes.
I thought of that as the broccoli guy out in this field, and the kids just being like,
vibes.
"What's happening?" Yeah, I definitely got that from that.
But we find out about our opponents, not the Yeerks, the Jerks, which
Jerks with two
that's
J's.
clever wordplay.
Jerkks.
Yeah.
Or 2 Ks? Yeah. 2 E's and 2 Ks. Yeah, the jerks that are a
Jerks.
fungus that, well, just infects you. We don't really know what happens at that point. It's like...
There's a little bit of mind control and
like
rashes.
What is it in Last of Us? Cordyceps? Yeah. I thought it would go more that way, but instead it seems more like it's just like you have a rash most of the time, which I guess is less terrifying than like
You have a rash most of the time.
Ooh,
what if
got 'em.
this was what if this was the source material for The Last of Us by Naughty Dog and they grabbed it from Vegemorphs?
What if?
Huh?
What even if?
So then they run through Farmer Yumi's house. Not Farmer Yumi. Golly. Too much freaking Paw
We
Patrol.
get our exposition
You love
dub,
Paw Patrol.
including again, there was a lot that did make me laugh about this book, especially the part where he says, "Yeah, we've come to this planet to try and fight off the jerks because our last planet wasn't super successful, and the one before that, well, we weren't able to fight them off."
Did you ever win?
Yeah, did you ever win a
Yeah.
single fight? Well, that's a sore subject, so cut me some slack. That was very funny.
Yeah, chill out.
We're going to try to win this one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
good about this. We got a good feeling.
Yeah.
Got a lot of practice.
Yeah, they do get a lot of background about what's going on. Okay, here's the intro to the war. Oh, and of course, got the freaking morphing powers through a
Right.
bottle of salad dressing instead of a
Right.
cube. Very much like going into Elfinger's ship, but it was going into Prince Broccolini. I'm just going to say
Prince
Prince
Broccoli
Broccolini 'cause I
Hands
forgot.
refrigerator.
Yeah, in his refrigerator. Yeah, including I think like scribbled drawings of his family or something like that, rather than actual pictures.
Yeah, okay. And so he gives
Yeah.
them the power to morph into vegetables, and he says the way you do this is you put your hands on the salad dressing, and then I tell you the most boring thing I can think of. And I thought, oh no, he's going to read me this book, but he tells them like in recipe for something, I think, and they get the power to morph, and he says, and also you can give others the power to morph just by telling them something very boring.
Right.
Okay, why did you, Prince Broccolini, need the salad dressing?
Great question.
Yeah, like you could have just had us do this in the first place.
You could
Yeah.
have just told us something boring. It's exactly the same thing, but without making me go in your gross underground hole and dig through your fridge.
Yeah.
Hope your family doesn't yell at me.
It's definitely that's probably the most extreme out of source material that this goes, right? Because you can't Jake can't give morphing powers to someone else without the cube. It's not just like let's go hold hands and
Gotta
now
have
you
that
can morph
cube.
too.
Need that
Yeah.
cube.
Yeah.
Got 50
Classic
more
game
books to
show.
go. I don't know. That could be a
Yeah.
later thing. I was assuming
Yeah.
that was part of the story. I have no idea, which is great.
Alex, I'm so sorry. Spoilers, but at least it's not one of the main book
Alex,
episodes.
I'll tell you this. You can't make other people turn into vegetables by holding their hands in Animorphs.
Dang it.
Okay?
Can you tell them a really boring story about animals and they'll turn into an animal?
Now that I'm not gonna
Humans were the most dangerous animal the whole time. So think about
Aha.
that. Yeah.
So they already did.
Bam. Wreck.
Yes.
Oh, and then he says something very important. Don't. I had a voice like this, and there's something very important. You can't. That's the voice I had him reading in my head.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't stay inside a morph for more than the recommended cooking time, or you'll get stuck.
Okay. This part made me laugh.
Yeah, and they say, but what kind of cooking? Is it stir fry? Deep fry,
just defrosting,
oven baking,
microwave.
And he's like, "We got to get out of here. No time to answer your question."
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I laughed at that part.
So they run off because I guess the smell's gotten worse, or they've just started dumping this powder. Yeah, I probably got that out of order. They start dumping powder from this spaceship that looks like it would make a great appetizer.
Right.
And they run through Farmer Wither's house, and he offers them hot chocolate. They say, "There's no time for being chased by aliens or jerks or something."
I think he even
and
offers them the hot chocolate too.
Yeah, and then these fungus monsters run through his living room. "Hey, do you guys want some hot chocolate?"
I have no idea what these fungus monsters look like, by the way. Having a hard time picturing that.
Yeah, I feel like he describes them different every time.
Like maybe like an old ass piece of asparagus. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Like gray, like kind of rotting. Like, are they vegetables? They're not vegetables. They're just fungus.
Correct.
The bad guys. Right.
Just like piles of mold.
Except for Fun Guy, who we also met at this time.
Fungus.
Fungus. Okay, I wrote in my notes, Fun Guy. Fungus.
Tisk.
Yeah.
Tisk.
He is a vegetable, but isn't a true vegetable. As you look closer,
But he's got the morphing to vegetable power.
Right.
He's the Visser 3 equivalent.
Yeah, he's Visitor 3. That's for sure. I was kind of sad that he was only used here and not later, unless I totally skipped over it or something. I don't think he comes back again.
He's there. He's just
he
not.
does at the final battle.
Yeah,
I think.
he's not the focus.
It's just, oh no, here he comes, and then
didn't do anything.
We got him. I don't know.
Okay.
This sort of spoilers.
Yeah.
In my mind, all of these fungus monsters were just mushrooms, just smaller versions of the spaceship, which is kind of funny. Like, we go in a spaceship and it's just shaped like a big human.
Spooky.
So stupid. Okay, so then they wake up the next day. Like, oh, it was a bad dream. And then is that psst, hey, psst.
Yeah.
And his friend is a
so
carrot.
Carrie shows up. Yeah. And Carrie is the Tobias equivalent. He is described as being able to read somebody's book while he's in an airplane looking out the window.
Oh yeah, as a human, as just a person.
Yeah. He always knows the right thing to say, like whenever people are fighting, or it's something insane. Like he's always able to talk down bank robbers or something.
He's always able to grab onto hot updrafts and just float upward.
Thermals, as it were.
That's not one. That's not one that they say, but they should have.
So Carrie shows up in his room, and so you can turn into vegetables, like a normal looking vegetable, but then you can also turn into like 6 foot tall vegetable human-esque.
I took that as like the in between. Like you can, like your first stage is like a giant human carrot hybrid, and then eventually you can just go all the way carrot. I think. God, what a dumb sentence I just said.
Right? I can read your thoughts when you think so loudly, says Carrie. You've got to learn to think more quietly. Well, excuse me, I snapped. I'm just a little bit jumpy, okay? My friend turns up in my room as a 6-foot-tall carrot. Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Don't call me Carrot, said Carrie. Carrot is the name for those unconscious zombie lookalikes. I am Daucus carota, a member of the vegetable kingdom and part of the family Umbelliferae.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me.
Yeah.
Said.
So sorry.
Okay, relax, said Carrie. I mean, Daucus carota. Like, and they never call him that again. They just
Never
go back
once
to
more.
Carrie.
Yep.
Of course not. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the kind of writing we have. I have a lot more readings
Oh, good.
as we get through the book.
I'm
Yes,
very
you'll
glad.
love this. You'll love experiencing it all over again. Hey, you loved it once, you'll love it again.
So
Mr. I
then
laughed at a part.
his brother, Kyle's brother, Bryce,
Bryce.
I think. Yeah. Bryce,
Sounds
right. Who just annoyingly never leaves. I feel like the whole book is just has Bryce left yet? That's just
Right.
every single plot point.
Yes.
So in this situation, Bryce is there and he's like, "Oh, who you talking to? Why's your room a mess? What are you doing? Why is this carrot in here?"
Yeah, so Carrie has changed from a 6-foot-tall carrot down to a normal-looking carrot, and he's sitting on his dresser or something, and he's just loving being a carrot.
Yeah. So he says, "I'm taking this carrot out of here." Throws it in the bin, not the trash. I'm not British now. The vegetable bin in the refrigerator, and then another funny scene. Kyle just desperately gets Bryce out of there and desperately looks for the Carrie in there. Starts talking to a carrot like, "Oh God, you got to morph out now, bro. Come on, morph out." And then he's like, "I would, but I'm down here still. You're talking
That's
to a
not
random
me."
carrot." Yeah. Okay. Pretty funny. But we don't know how long it takes to demorph, or how long it takes to get stuck in a morph. That is not at all determined solidly, what the rules are. We don't know.
Yeah, and then they keep talking about several times throughout the book. It's, I think I've been a carrot for hours now. Hours? That's definitely longer than the cooking time. But,
It's vegetable.
I turned into a carrot and immediately said hi to you. Oh, so it's only been 5 minutes? Yeah, but it feels like a really long time in, vegetable years.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's actually kind of horrifying, isn't it? If you turn into a carrot for 5 minutes, it feels like 3 days or something that you've just been laying there.
Yeah, I can't imagine anybody would not just turn into a vegetable and then immediately turn back. Well, it's definitely been 2 hours or cooking time.
Yeah, I don't really know
just
what the benefit of
immediately-
that was either. It doesn't really serve any purpose, right? Because time still
No,
goes
it
by
does
normal
not.
in the actual scenario. So
I think it's trying to be an analog to wow, I feel like I must have been whatever it is for hours. Axe, how long has it been? Oh, it's been 37 minutes. And they're like, oh my God. Good.
Some
I've
of
still
your
got an hour and a
minutes.
half.
Yeah.
Being an ant is terrible.
Yes.
Ugh.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. So these kids never go to school, right? Do they ever go to school?
No.
I don't think so,
Only
no.
school exists.
They just run
Okay,
across
that's
the
fine.
local gangs like Biff and company.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is, we're interacting with main character's older brother, which is the point
Bryce.
where we suspect that Bryce, thank you. I blocked it out. Where we suspect that he is a Yeerk.
Yeah, because the whole thing is they act different, right? In Animorphs,
yeah,
it's, they act identical. You'll never know because they're the same or whatever. But in this, it's very much they act exactly opposite of how they act normally.
Yeah, he asks him to watch some cartoons, and then he catches him later watching cartoons, and not cool grown-up cartoons. They're what a kid would watch.
Yeah, they weren't
All
watching
right.
The Simpsons or Futurama. They were watching, I don't know.
Uncool stuff.
I was gonna say SpongeBob, but SpongeBob's pretty cool. So I don't know.
Oh, that's fair.
What's an uncool cartoon?
PJ Masks, his PJ Masks.
There you go. Nah, kids love that. Bluey. No, I haven't watched Bluey. What's the
Bluey
other
is
one?
incredible.
Melon.
Go stop the podcast and go watch Bluey.
Coco Melon. There you
That's
go.
probably not
I think
a
we can
healthy
all
thing for me to say.
universally crap all over Coco Melon.
Everyone hates Coco Melon except
Yeah.
for children. It's baby crack. Once you introduce that, nothing else is good enough for your kids.
All right.
Destabilize local governments. Yeah.
Well, student councils.
Speaking of
like I said.
in preschool.
destabilizing,
Yeah, what happens next?
I don't know
This whole
something.
book's a blur.
So we start to find out a little bit more about the societal impacts of the Yeerks
Oh yeah,
being in this
okay.
area. The fact that they are trying to, what was the one? Tryptophytotan or something like that, which is the fungus or, a creature that causes ringworm and athlete's foot. And
I
so
thought
the
that was the
entire
thing that was
town,
in Turkey when you get tired. Is that not that?
I think I'm tryptophytone, I think is the
Oh,
one I'm. Tryptophan is one that, yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very, very similar words, but yeah, that's a funny image. Ah, I got fungus all over me.
I'm so sleepy.
Full, sleepy.
Well, we'll get to that.
yeah.
But all of the
Oh yeah.
corner stores are out of antifungal cream because it's
Mm.
a grand cabal of individuals trying to remove that. And I really enjoyed the line, what was it? I knew about streptococcus because my parents are doctors. They're both dermatologists. That means they specialize in skin diseases, but they know other medical stuff too. Very much the Cassie. My parents are vets, and therefore they know everything about animal evolutionary biology,
All of it,
behaviorism, all of it.
100%.
Doesn't matter. They've
Yeah.
seen
Yeah,
animals. They know
you don't
everything.
have to become an expert in any particular part. Nope. You're
Nope.
a grandmaster.
Grandmaster vet.
Yeah.
I didn't go to medical school for 6 years to not know about fungus.
Exactly.
Yep.
I didn't go to medical school for 6 years.
Is this just a slow burn where it's just, people are weirder and I think they convinced the other veggie morphs to go do it in their basement or whatever, right? Again, Bryce won't freaking leave. Get out of here, Bryce. I haven't skipped anything, right? Like that is the next thing that happens, I think, is as a teen
I
or
think
more.
so. Yeah, the middle third of the book is just like, hey, Carrie, don't be a carrot for too long.
Yeah, you give me a weird feeling.
Stop it. Yeah, and Bryce like, hey, you should really come hang out with me and my itchy friends.
Yes. Because everybody's got
Yeah,
itchy
and
feet.
just nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like nothing happens. But yeah, they
Yeah,
go and
kinda.
they practice and they're like, all right, you have to smell these vegetables real deep, and then you can turn into one.
Mhm.
Okay, I picked this because it's kind of like my name. Or I picked kale because it's kind of like my name. Oh, I picked olive for the same reason because I'm Olivia. Yeah, good,
Great.
good. And yeah, it's just
And it
like
just
2
felt right
chapters
to be
of
kale. I was corn before, but now it just felt right to be kale. Okay.
like I don't know what like raw or like natural unpicked kale looks like. I'm always the Trader Joe's big bag of kale, but
Mm.
it doesn't seem like here is a kale for you to turn into. It's like spinach. Here is
All of the spinach?
8,000 leaves of spinach.
Yeah. You just turned like a garnish on the side of a plate. That's what just like a
Just a
ripped up
single
one
kale
single leaf.
chip.
Yeah.
I, I love though as they're transforming, they nearly get caught because Bryce is coming down to come
He just won't
investigate
leave.
what's going on at the worst moments, of course.
Mhm.
And then his
Hey guys, I
friend
was gonna
shows
come
up.
watch Coco Melon, but what are you guys doing here?
Yeah, what are you doing instead?
Gotta go get the video downstairs on the VCR. And then he says, "Oh yeah,
Cocomelon on VCR.
Seriously, come watch this with me.
it's his buddy Brian Drinkwater or Drainwater or it doesn't really matter. I didn't. His phone number's unlisted. It doesn't matter that I put his name out there. That was just so beautiful. As like whatever.
Yeah.
People's names, who cares? Principal Chapman, yeah, that won't help anybody find us. No worries. Just
Right. Yeah.
oh, so good.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Oh wow, yeah. They could just like, well, hey, what school has a Principal Chapman? Their students at that school. Kill everyone at that school because
take
I've
the whole
read their
school out.
books,
Just in case.
Yeah.
just in case they're using fake names.
Right.
Yeah.
So they get Bryce to. Oh, they leave. They leave the basement, and then they're like, "Let's demorph. Let's morph somewhere else." So then they legit practice because they got interrupted and Bryce messed it up. Okay, let's go legit practice, and they do. And this is great. This is the greatest night of my life. I look back on it so fondly about how much we bonded that evening.
And they go to the empty lot at the end of the street. Nothing bad ever happens at that empty lot at the end of
Never.
the street, they say.
Oh, look, the Biff gang,
Okay.
or the Biff bunch, or the bunch of was it Biff? It was Biff, like
The
Back
Biff
to the Future
gang.
Biff, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, they're like, "Hey, we saw you turning into vegetables. How are you turning into vegetables?" Because that's the first thing you would say.
First question I'd ask.
Just they react like, "Hey, that's you're nerds, but I do want to know about that, and I
Yeah.
want that power." Okay.
Right.
And then every instance where somebody sees them in vegetable form throughout the rest of the book, they are terrified, like screaming and
Uh-huh.
running into the woods. And it's just like, hey, I need these 1,000 people to not be here anymore. Oh, I'm a carrot.
I'm a-
Ah! And they all leave.
A giant carrot.
But
with
no,
face.
Biff.
You don't get to be in the Biff gang without having nerves of steel.
Right.
Okay.
right.
Yeah. All right. You got me.
The Biff Bunch has seen a lot of stuff. This is the most
my
G-rated
headcanon.
thing they've dealt with.
Right.
Yeah. And so they're like,
Ironclad.
"Okay, Biff, you really want to be a vegetable, huh?" And they tell him a boring story, and then they turn into celery. But it was like this weird. I felt like I was reading a fever dream. I was like, "They are celery," or like, did a sentence or two get left out, or like, what is happening?
Like the Vegemorphs had to deeply inhale a vegetable, but the Biff Bunch, nope, just listen to me talk, and now you're all celery for some reason.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What is this about? Like, what is the undertones of? I'm gonna bore you to death for you to be a vegetable that can't move. But yikes!
Yeah, and he's like, all right, and there's something about cooking time, and all the Vegemorph buddies are like, don't tell him. Are you
Yeah, dum-dums.
advocating the bullies get stuck as celery forever?
Mhm.
Don't tell him.
Yep. He's got
Yeah,
a
we
dot.
want
So
this
we
kid-
left.
We want, yeah. They've thrown apple cores at us, so we're gonna doom them to being celery for the rest of their life. It's the
Precisely.
obvious tit
Which
for tat. Yeah,
shouldn't have messed with us.
yeah. We're the Vegemorphs.
Ugh.
Vegemorphs.
Yeah,
Screw the
so then
Vegemorphs.
that happens, and what? They go home and go to sleep?
Probably they do that a lot.
Probably. They love sleeping.
It's
Yeah.
true.
And then I think the next thing we hear about is Bryce. They all come back to dinner at Kyle's house,
Mhm.
Right.
and none of you have touched your vegetables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is this a pro or anti-vegetable book? I don't.
It's a really good question.
Yeah.
Didn't quite get
I
a
don't
get a
know.
good vibe off of that.
Because as a kid, you want to be anti-vegetable, like you relate to that. But I guess the author would be like, "Let me show this kid
Counter
vegetables
narrative.
are awesome."
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, they couldn't eat their vegetables because it freaks them out now.
So they do that, and I think Bryce tells them about the snoring, which is they're just going to go sleep out in Farmer Withers' field.
Yeah.
The
Cool.
snoring, obviously, the sharing
Yes.
cult thing. Yes.
Nobody got that. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Right. Also, they have all those. They all dress up. I think we've left out that they all dress up like 90s hipster
Ye-
nerds or something like that.
Something like that.
well,
Very confusing.
Yeah, we got one more thing in between. That they just ate dinner and learned about this, and then I think the next scene is they're like, "Oh, well, we gotta talk to Prince Broccoli about this. Let's go to the Super Salad or like the Golden Corral or whatever."
Veggie Village.
And
Forgot about that.
Veggie Village, yeah. And so they go there, and one of the girls is just like screaming at this like pile of vegetables. They're like, "Yeah, you like that, Biff? You like being a vegetable? Stupid Biff. I hate you, Biff."
And everyone's looking at her.
Everyone looks at her. Yeah. and then Prince Broccoli is just like 3 bins down. He's like, "Hey, over here. It's me, Prince Broccoli. I'm going to turn out into a 6-foot vegetable again."
Here we go.
And then everybody screams and runs away.
Yeah.
Yeah, no secrecy.
I mean, like
No.
panic.
yeah. And then he's like, "Hey, here's my family. You want to meet my family?" It's his wife and his kid. Okay. Anyway, they're gonna leave now, and they leave through like the drain in the floor.
Yeah.
That'll go back to the farm, I guess.
Somehow.
And yeah, and
Because the vegetables can move when they're little? Is that a thing? I thought when Carrie turned into a carrot, it just laid there. Like, did he roll around? Like, do you hop around? Is it like VeggieTales?
I was gonna say Carrie's just awful, but no, he's constantly described as being superhuman
Right.
with his reading books from very far away and
Okay.
calming
okay,
down terrorists
Right.
on the daily.
Okay.
On the daily.
But Prince Broccoli's like, "Hey, there's a antifungal cream factory just outside of town. What we're gonna do?" Is this voice doing it for you?
Absolutely.
Anyway, they
I think it's probably
have
what I
to-
heard too. Now that
Good.
you've just put some
Okay.
vocals to it.
So they have to go to this antifungal cream factory, and they can't steal cars or steal the delivery trucks because they're kids, I guess. So they're going to scare drivers into getting into the trucks and driving them to Farmer Withers's field. So
They
they
missed
do
an
that.
opportunity to drive the trucks themselves and hit a lot of trash cans,
Right.
but they didn't.
Do you
They
hate
missed
trash
that.
cans?
They missed that.
Mhm.
By the way, let's stress the fact that like this is the climax. This is the finale here. Like this is the big mission. Like if you're wondering what happened so far to this part, yeah, not a lot of things. This is the big one.
All roads lead here.
Yeah. And so they scare these truck drivers into driving delivery trucks full of antifungal cream to Farmer Withers's field because that's where the snoring's happening. And they're all just having a big slumber party in a field. No tents, just
Nope.
sleeping bags. And
Bags on dirt.
it's described as being the worst smell anyone's ever smelled because fungus and rashes. And
Yeah,
I'm sure they stopped showering.
yeah. And nerds are just the worst because it's the '90s, so nerds are terrible. Obviously.
Yeah, they're all described as wearing classic nerd clothes.
hmm
Polyester pants, pocket protectors, mismatched clothes.
Suspenders,
What else? Yeah, suspenders.
clip-on bow ties. They get really specific with multiple
Yeah,
clip-on
right.
bow ties.
Because you can tell from hundreds of
Mhm.
feet away if they're clip-ons or not.
I think even Tommy is like, Kyle, don't look now, but your brother's over there and
He's got
he has a clip-on tie.
Exactly.
No.
So the plan is to squirt all these rashy nerds with antifungal cream and then zap them with vegetable powers, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot they have that. Vitamins and
Mhm.
minerals.
Oh, yes.
And I mean, this part just sounds like it's just pandemonium, right? It's just we're dumping
Yep.
this stuff. We're cream's going everywhere, flying everywhere. I was a little kind of graphic with that. And then everyone's like falling down, yelling, itching, fighting. Tentacles of other giant vegetables are everywhere. Fungus people have shown up. It's a lot of craziness.
And then, of course, the rain begins. And that's when we cut to
Mm.
black and we get our traditional.
Meanwhile, back in the barn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
back at the barn. Wow, let's go ahead and unpack all those things that just happened instead of cutting directly to them.
Yep,
And
yep.
I very much enjoyed the line. Do you want to know what happened after you left?
No.
Everything. I'm like, okay, well, obviously, yeah, I was there.
Do you want to know what happened? Nope. I'm going to close the book now. I'm done.
Done.
Nope, that's the end.
Not enough investment here to do this.
Roll credits, roll book credits. But yeah, they squirt and zap and squirt and zap and squirt and zap. And and then just when it seems like all is lost, apparently Prince Broccoli comes and does the biggest zap
Of all
he's
time.
ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, biggest zap of all time. Yeah. And defeats Fungus.
Yay.
That'll show him.
Yay, Prince Broccolini.
But it
Good.
wasn't without consequence because we now find out that Carrie, pause for a moment of silence for Carrie, permanently a carrot. So,
I don't know what we're going to...
yeah, that's.
I feel like
oh.
I feel like I really was getting to know Carrie on an intimate level.
Yeah, it's the emotional core of the story. I really feel like you've had it foreshadowed. You've seen that, this is the only way to escape the strictures of a modern life that Carrie's found himself in, and
It's
really
his friends.
it's really summed up.
Whip
He
those
goes-
emotional cores at us.
emotional apple cores. he goes ahead and hits you with the, I like being a carrot. I was never very happy at home. Mom was always out shopping, and all Dad ever did was read weightlifting magazines. And so,
Such a specific complaint.
just
What do you think
he's
Leafy
happy.
Green's
He's happier
parents
now.
did? 3 guesses.
Vegetableologists.
Oh man. Yeah, and it's just the Prince Broccolini didn't die.
Right.
So
There's at some point, he got phagocytosis.
Yeah.
Which they remind us means to when a cell engulfs another cell. So the funguses engulfed him.
I heard that in Michael Bolton
But
voice.
then-
When a cell, another cell.
Tremendous.
Man, all the people that listen to 80s Michael Bolton music are really going to dig that deep cut.
That's the second episode we've mentioned Michael Bolton on. I like those odds. That's how they get you.
That's it. Yep. That right there is how they get you.
Yeah, so we've covered everything in the book, right?
I don't know. I think
It's-
the Prince Broccoli guy is not dead. He's like, the fight still will be a thing. They just hibernated or something. We didn't win.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You know, fungus can come back from not much fungus.
The
so
fungus is now among us. Yeah.
Carrie is going to help Prince Broccoli stamp out fungus or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
We read this book, so you don't have to.
Lucky you.
You almost had to.
Where's the
Dear
TV
listeners.
adaptation, my friends? I need that. Can you
I
imagine?
get-
It's just like zoomed in on like different vegetables, just someone just like moving them with their hand.
Stop motion.
Yeah.
Equally low budget.
Yeah. I feel like this book is that in book form, you know? Of just it's somehow low budget book. It feels like a low budget
Mhm.
book.
It does. It's like, I could write about this, but that sounds expensive.
I mean, if you're gonna do a parody of Animorphs, animals, okay, vegetables, like obviously that is the way to do it, I think. But I'm trying to
Yeah.
think, like, I think you should maybe have to fight vegetables using vegetable powers. Then you can say vegetables are good and bad, I guess. Which I
He
guess
did.
they
I
said
mean,
vegetables are
He
good and
zapped
bad
them with
here.
vitamins and minerals.
There was no reason that they had to be vegetables. Anything that a vegetable could do, or any reason they had for turning into vegetables, was something vegetables could not do. They could hear people's thoughts. They could, I guess, move.
They could hear people's thoughts as humans, which was a book one anomaly initially.
Hmm.
Yeah.
They could zap people with super vitamin rays.
Right.
Like,
Mhm.
none of these are things that normal vegetables do.
No.
So well,
Well, maybe.
it's just
maybe
turning
they're,
into,
maybe they're zapping you and you don't know.
my
Exactly.
goodness.
That's how they
Has a
get you.
carrot ever refuted that they've been zapping you? Huh?
Has a carrot ever refuted?
Oh.
Just in general. Has a carrot.
Oh.
Whoa. I gotta lay down.
Like a carrot. That's what Carrie kept saying. I just want to
Dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
And this is the intro.
It all loops together.
Welcome to Animorphs 55, the podcast. All right, now you've enjoyed our warm up.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But I got to say, as much as you guys, prepped me for just absolutely horrendous book, all put together
This
and
is
everything
Alex's
like that,
favorite thing of the whole deal.
I thought it was hilarious.
Best
There were
book of the
so many
podcast.
things that, having read only a handful of these books so far, I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I know how this correlates to Animorphs. I can see that someone
Yeah.
took a close reading of those, put it into a blender, regurgitated it here, and then swapped animals out for vegetables.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously somebody wrote this as cliched as it is, a love letter to the series. But it definitely lacks the charm. It lacks the charm of, a lot of the character interactions that exist in the books as they've gotten further along.
I think it's good as a parody, but it's not good as a book.
Fair.
Like as just a book, it doesn't read well, But as like a
Yeah.
joke on Animorphs, they do hit a lot of awesome points, and there's some funny stuff. But the story itself is like, it's hard for me to care much about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Kyle and Carrie have a lot of lines throughout the book, but whatever all the other Vegemorphs names are, probably have 3 lines
Oh, yeah.
combined.
They hardly ever talk. Tomato, especially, or not.
Yeah.
Tomato,
Tommy, Tomato, Olivia, and Randy, I think,
Yeah.
are the other ones.
Yeah.
And I think they're described, but
Yeah.
never do anything or say anything. There's just no, there are 5 of us. Honest.
Yeah, one of them was described as drop dead gorgeous or something like that.
Yeah. And then the other one is also smoking hot, but in a totally different way.
Yeah, what does that mean? Cool.
Yeah. Everybody's super attractive
And cousins, distant cousins.
saving the world. Cousins, attractive cousins, saving the world. It's vegetables.
Yeah. Well, guys, I think that it's okay to let you know that there is only one of these.
Sad.
There's not more. There are other parodies of other 90s kids stuff, but sadly, Vegemorphs only had the one entry.
It is time then for us to rate the book.
We don't have to.
I give it 0 scary fungus men out of, wow. It doesn't matter how many. 1, 1,000. It's the same score.
This is true.
I did not enjoy this book.
I really like the fact that in my official paperback copy, I had to keep waiting through a 10-second ad that I had to like wait for the timer to go, but then the 10-second ad timer would freeze.
Oh,
This
no.
is not worth waiting.
But it would do this every like 10 seconds. So it was like I could read like as fast as I could for like 10 seconds, and then a 10-second like timer ad would show up, which would delay, and then I had to wait to hit continue so I could read for 10 seconds.
That's
It's
dedication.
brutal to get through. Yeah. It was on my official paperback book.
You should sell that. I don't know that any other ones exist.
I would give this book 2 ears on 1 head of lettuce out of 5 potatoes.
Of those.
I wouldn't give this book to anyone for any reason.
Oh, damn, there you go.
And that's
Under any
it.
circumstance.
Yeah, Zach, I texted you earlier this week saying maybe this book is a lot funnier if we were a lot smarter and knew more about fungus and vegetable kingdoms.
Yeah, he's
or
probably
whatever.
killing it with a very small audience.
And Alex, I think, got all those jokes. So congratulations on being incredibly smart.
This is just a niche slice of some things that I'm familiar with, and it just managed to hit my funny bone on those.
I'm sending you a trophy.
We get through all the Animorphs books, and Alex is like, yeah, but Vegemorphs is the
No
best one.
Vegemorphs.
So Vegemorphs 2 win.
We got to write it.
Yeah, I'm wondering, you think there's a Vegemorphs 2 fanfic out there?
Ooh.
Are there Vegemorphs fanfics?
I got to say this book, if I had to describe it, I would say it's like if someone did one of those AI books, the Sand Hands, with Animorphs. That's what this kind of felt like.
It is very nonsensical. Very like, here's the next thing that happened, which had this. Now there's this other power I forgot
Let's
about.
get to this
Oh, look,
next
here's this
joke.
person that's showing up. Yeah, here's a setup for just a joke right now.
Right.
People
Look-
refer to carrots as their Latin names, right?
Yeah,
Of course. Obviously.
I mean, it did give the whole thing a fever dream aspect, right? And
Yeah,
then,
true.
and I guess I'm just used to some of that because like kids shows kind of do the same thing sometimes. I was watching a Hot Wheels episode today, and it was like, make sure you get these pizzas delivered in 5 minutes, or it's free. And like the bad guy is the one that's ordering it. Like, I want to get the free pizza. That's his ploy. I'm going to order 500 pizzas, so you can't possibly do it in that amount of time. I'll
5
get them all
minutes, exactly.
free.
And he does it anyways.
And then you're like, okay, cool, I guess. And then he's like, oh, but look, I'm feeding to my cobra, my giant cobra I have that's now going to chase you around the city. And I'm like, what is happening? That's what this felt like.
Yeah, I've been watching the original Pokemon cartoon with my kids, and every episode, Team Rocket shows up. They're like, I want that one Pikachu. I do happen to have a hot air balloon and a portable soundstage and a
Elaborate
portable
costumes.
recording studio and like an earthquake machine, and like they're incredibly well funded and geared out. And you know, I need this one thing I can't have,
Startup culture. Yeah.
but I have everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
Anyway, that's my political statement for the week,
I thought y'all were going to be against this book from page 1 because of
and we are.
the one big fatal flaw, which I don't know if you picked it
Ooh.
out. It's on the first page.
what was it?
It's the fact that one of them transforms into a tomato, which is not a vegetable. I mean,
I did
that
call
nearly
that out.
ruined it for me, but fortunately enough, the rich character interactions between people who never spoke saved it.
really saved it. Yeah. You got reimbursed. Good.
Yeah, I was reading it at night, and I'm like wanting to yell to my wife, hey, this book made a mistake. What's the book about?
Never mind. It's not worth it.
Just wait a few
Don't worry
weeks
about
for the podcast to come out. I
You'll hear
can't.
it then.
I can't do any
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Oh.
What an experience.
All right,
y'all.
so I'm happy that that's over with.
Until next time, brosips.
Good job, everyone.
Thanks for listening.
Animorphs 55, the podcast, is a fan-driven, nostalgic podcast created by Zach Hurdle, Patrick Viersba, and Alex Holton. But don't tell the Yeerks. Theme music provided by Neko Boy. Podcast artwork by Rachel Hurdle. Episodes edited by Patrick Viersba. Based on the 90s sci-fi kids series written by K.A. Applegate, Michael Grant, and other contributing authors. To contact the show, email animorphspodpeople@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.